Hey, welcome back. It's Eric, the Big E Arnold here on this Saturday, the 21st of August. We've got 5 free MLB picks for you here on this Saturday. So let's get to it. We got a lot of ground to cover. When we last were seen, we played Wednesday, no show. It was Thursday, no show Friday. That's it. Well, whatever. We lost, but not a lot. You know, we're generally right now playing a lot of big favorites as the haves are separating themselves from the have-nots. So, you know, the trade deadline, especially this year, seems to have really segregated the league into haves and have-nots. So, you're playing a lot of big favorites. Well, you miss 1 or 2, it wrecks your night. I mean, with Thursday, we had 3 winners, 2 losers, and lost money. So, what can you do? We haven't had too many losing nights lately. Most of them have been winners. So, before we get to the 5 picks, the news is happening so fast and furious here that, you know, we just have to address some of this. You know, the Eric Arnold, handicapper extraordinaire and right-wing radical. So, I mean, have you seen, I guess, that apparently the British, the Germans, and the French, they're all running their own special services, Uber service over there in Kabul, Afghanistan, getting their people that are trapped behind enemy lines. They're running around picking up their people and taking them to the airport. Meanwhile, the Americans just sit there and watch. I don't know what's going on as far as what the point of all this is. In other words, why are we so reluctant to be doing what the Europeans are doing? Go get our people and get them out of there. I'm pretty convinced now that we're not watching a kinder, gentler Taliban. I think I have now seen enough reports that they are doing what they do. In other words, in the words of Dennis Green, former NFL coach, they are who we thought they were. They're running around being their murderous asshole selves, seeking out people that think different than they do to kill. Hey, sounds like a bunch of warm and fuzzy guys you want to invite to a party. Christians, journalists, interpreters that helped the United States during our 20-year stay over there. So they're seeking out all these people, and they're going to torture and kill them when they find them. So, but are we doing anything about that? Very little, it looks like to me. It's almost like, you know, I said this to my brother, who's a Democrat. He took great pains to draw a line, though, that he is a free-thinking Democrat. Like, okay, I hear you. I hear you. You know, he's getting mad, so I'm just saying, you know, letting him rant. I think for myself. Okay. All right. But he seemed to be bothered by the fact, for one thing, he didn't even know it, which didn't surprise me because I doubt this is the type of thing they talk about on CBS, CNN, NBC, ABC, etc. That the British tried to get a hold of Biden while the shit is hitting the fan over the weekend, and they want to know, hey, what are you guys doing? What the hell's going on here? You know, we're getting word on the ground over there that you're pulling out, and the Taliban is like 5 minutes behind you guys as you're heading to the airport. What's going on? What are you doing? Biden didn't take his call. Biden didn't return the head. One of our oldest and best allies, he didn't return Boris Johnson's phone call for 36 hours. What is that? I mean, how do you defend that? How do you defend that? I don't get. That makes no sense at all. The only way that could possibly have happened is that Biden was mentally incapacitated in some fashion, that he's in the midst of some brain stroke or something like that. You just can't. The conclusion I drew from all this is, you're trying to figure out, is this meant to be happening? Is it, or are you guys just this incompetent, or is there some way that you're benefiting from this? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As I said in a previous video, the elites in this country are complete trash. They're totally incompetent. They don't have our best interests at heart. And it really doesn't matter, to determine their motivations. Well, are you doing that because it's going to enrich you? Or are you doing that because you're incompetent? What does it matter? Whatever they do is not in our best interests. That's pretty much the bottom line. Anytime an elite is telling you, an authoritarian, someone in charge is telling you, you need to do this, whatever they're telling you to do is not in your best interest. You need to wear a mask. Take the mask off. Not in your best interest. You need to shelter in place in Afghanistan. Get the hell out of there. It's whatever they tell you to do. Just do the opposite, because whatever they're trying to get you to believe or do is not in your best interest. So that's what I've concluded. So this whole deal here, where we're just handing over Afghanistan in a chaotic, stupid fashion, no, it's not in our best interest. I don't know, we should have been there forever, but the way we're pulling out, this is just, anybody could have done better than Joe Biden. At any rate, let's see, what else did I see here? I saw a study that kids born during the lockdown, they did a study on their, I guess, IQs. Can they do that? I mean, I guess there's a way to take a baby or a toddler and measure his IQ, I guess, for lack of a better word. And they've determined that the kids in the lockdown, born in the lockdown, are dumber than normal kids would be. So that apparently the lockdown has stunted the intellectual development of anybody born in it. I believe that, the kids locked inside the house, they can't get out, they're left staring at the wall, doing the same thing day after day, no diversity, nothing changes for months on end. Yeah, I could believe that those kids are going to be a little stupider than a normal child. So I've always known that these lockdowns would cause damage that would not be readily visible to you for months upon years, but that it'll be incredibly damaging. So that's just another example. I saw Twitter has censored Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, has censored his press secretary. So just more censorship, more anti-American totalitarianism that goes on in this country now pretty much on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you just see more and more Nazi-esque, Soviet-style tactics by the elites that want to shut us up because we do not consent and we do not agree to their authoritarian bullshit. But but if we say anything, we just get censored and made fun of by the elites. Their day's coming. Their day is coming. The elites that are out of touch with the people, someday they fall. It may take a while, but am I optimistic? No, I'm not. Sometimes it takes a long, long time. The Soviet Union was in power for what, 70, 80 years? That's a long time. So I'm not that optimistic. The Chinese Communist power, they're still in power, and they show no indications that they're going anywhere. So, I'm not optimistic. But at any rate, so there's just some things like I said, the news is happening so quickly now. and it's almost all bad, that, you just feel like, man, so let's hope that we survive all this, and maybe we can get Joe Biden out of office before he really damages some things. At any rate, let's get to the picks. That's what you want to know, right? Who are we going to play here today? Oh, we're going to take the A's. I think the Giants are starting to flake. They're starting to wilt under the pressure. The Dodgers aren't losing. They do not lose, the Dodgers. And they're getting closer and closer and closer. The Giants have been playing some tough teams, too. So right now, I think the Giants are feeling the heat. The A's are playing, well, the A's do what they do. They play very well in the regular season. They're always a value play in the regular season. That stadium they have there that they're so anxious to get out of is a big home field advantage because it's a unique place to play. It's a place where there's difficult sun fields. You have trouble finding the ball when it gets up in the air. The huge foul ground that's unique to the Alameda Stadium. And this is another one of these little brother matchups where the crosstown rivals, and one generally has much more of a pedigree. The Giants have, what now, 3 world championships in the last 20, 30 years. The A's have none. So A's are the little brother that always want to stick it to big brother when they play them. The Giants give a shit about playing the A's, but the A's want to stick it to big brother. So same deal here. So we'll take the A's. The Indians, both these teams are kind of out of it. It's funny. It's just, who are you? What division are you in? If both these teams were in the National League, they'd be in it. But they're not. They're in the American League, and they're both 8-9 games back, and it's probably over for them. I think the Indians, may be able to talk themselves into, all right, we could maybe make a run here. We get Bieber back. He's throwing again. He could be back within 2-3 weeks. We get him back for 5-6 starts. That'd be 5-6 wins. We're obviously being optimistic. I'm trying to talk myself into how we're going to win. They have Serrano, as I call him, Franmil Reyes. He's a thumper in the lineup. Jose Ramirez is a thumper. That right there is better than the Angels lineup. Ohtani's, he's Ohtani, but what else do they have there? I mean, last night, for Christ's sakes, the Angels batted Phil Gosselin third. Come on now. I mean, Phil Gosselin was in Philadelphia as a guy, a runaround guy, just a knockabout dude, a guy that the Phillies cycle through these guys, probably 5-6 of them every year. They get 100, 150 at bats. They do nothing. We kick them out of town, and none of them go anywhere and do anything. They're just knockabout guys. And the Angels have this guy hitting third? Come on. That just shows you how they're doing it with Ohtani and smoke and mirrors. That's how the Angels, any game they win, is pretty much Ohtani winning the game by himself. Their pitching is not that good. Their bullpen is particularly not that good. I think the Indians are markedly better at this stage of the season than the Angels. So we'll go with the Indians. Reds, Marlins. Something interesting happened last night. I was discussing with some of my Reds buddies. It's like, you know what? I want to go see a Reds game. If the Reds stay in this, I think that might be fun, seeing as I don't have a baseball team. The shitty Phillies are out of it. I know. They're still within, 3.5 games. Trust me, they're out of it. But the Reds are right there. And this is the first time the Reds have been close in years that the Reds might actually do something. So I'm like, all right, well, I can like the Reds. My buddies like the Reds. I don't dislike the Reds. But so I could jump on the bandwagon and be a Reds fan. And I'm getting feedback from one of these Reds fans that, well, yeah, but, unless it's an Ohio State weekend, then you can't go to the Reds game when Ohio State's playing. I'm like, well, yeah, I hear you. I mean, I went to Ohio State too, but who are we playing? I mean, are we playing Oregon or are we playing Akron? I mean, come on now. We're Ohio State versus basically almost anybody. Ohio State's going to beat them by 35 points or more. I can do without seeing that. I mean, I don't really need to see Ohio State beat Akron by 58 points. I don't know. I just found that odd in that I guess it depends on who is your favorite team. Is it a college team or is it a professional team? I've always kind of had more of a link to the Philadelphia professional scene than maybe I have to the colleges. Maybe that's because I became an Ohio State fan somewhat later in life when I was 18, and that's where I went to school, and then I threw over Penn State for Ohio State, and maybe that's why I'm like, you're giving up a chance to watch your team, your professional baseball team, make a possible run for the World Series, and you're passing that up to watch Ohio State smash Akron 105-6. I just I don't know. I guess it's to each his own. At any rate, I didn't even tell you. Well, then, we'll take the Reds. I think they're in the midst of a drive here that they're rolling. They're playing well. The Marlins aren't. Miley's one of their best pitchers, especially value-wise, in that Miley doesn't generate the same buzz as Gray or Castillo or even Male, but Miley's better than all of them. So, we're paying a relatively cheap price here for a game that the Reds probably have a 70 to 80% chance of winning. And the price says that they only have a 66% chance of winning. So there's value there. There's definite value there. Speaking of value, the Braves. The Braves are in the midst of putting away their division. They're I would say they're probably 70% through their long kick here. That's going to ice the division. It's not over yet. They're not going to turn around and go, all right, that's it. We did it. Now we can rest. They're still on full bore, 100% go right now. Playing the worst team in the league, the Orioles. This is a cheap price. You're playing the worst team in the league. And you're red hot, you're a good team, they're a horrible team. This is a relatively cheap price here. I think the Braves are going to find a way to keep their hot streak going and just bury, the Mets and the Phillies. Just the Mets and the Phillies are losing every night right now because they're out on the West Coast. This is it. This is a great chance for the Braves. You could just break them. Just break them. By the end of the month, that both the Phillies and the Mets will look up and go, shit, we're 8 games out. It's over. Even though the standings, or I should say the schedule, would favor the Phillies, you're 8 games out, you're 8 games out. And that's hard to tell yourself, hey, we got a chance. So the Braves keep their run going. And then the Rockies. The Rockies been very, very good to us. We play them against them on the road, and we're usually right. You play with them at home, and we're usually right. This is a relatively cheap price. You get the Rockies are better than the Diamondbacks, particularly when the Rockies are at home. So we think this is a relatively cheap price we're paying to get a superior home team. So there you have it. Indians, Reds, not Orioles, Braves, Reds, Indians, A's, and then the Rockies. That's what we got. That's what we have. Probably no show tomorrow. Sunday strikes me as a day of rest. I got to get you the week 0 college picks. I haven't done. I just haven't, you know, maybe we'll do those Monday. Maybe we'll throw there's 2 of them for that Saturday. What is it, the 28th? I got 2 picks there for that Saturday, the 28th. So maybe we'll get them to you Monday. They're done. Might as well, you know, here they are. And then we'll go ahead and, you know, finish up baseball here as we roll into the college and pro football seasons. Good, great, thanks. Have a good weekend. Eric Arnold. Hey, hit that like button if you're new. We are picking up the occasional subscriber here. You know, I've noted that. We're up to 364. So, again, if you got your settings set on private, I don't know who you are, which is probably the way you want it. You know, radical right-wing Eric Arnold said hello to somebody who's like, Jesus Christ, shut up. I'm not associated with you. I just want your free picks. So, you know, that's fine. Welcome whoever you are. We appreciate you hanging around and the loyalty and whatnot, the views. We do enjoy that. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again. Eric Arnold signing off.